Do you guys carry a gun in a holster? Stop. Watch this before you carry on. This is 5 things you need to know about holsters. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for tuning in. So we're going to get right into it. Number 1, holster types. There's 4 main types of holsters. One is polymers, so it's plastic, the really thick type of plastic, and these are great holsters. Law enforcement use them all the time. Second off, we got leather. Leather holsters are decent. They've been around for eons, and you know they're kind of the in-between. This one specifically has a plastic lockable piece, so this is a great holster. Third off here is nylon. Probably not the best, but the cheapest, and I'll show you how to use a nylon correctly. And then last here is hybrids, usually leather on the inside and a plastic holder on the outside. These are decent if you're trying to do a tuckable holster, but not for most of the purposes we're going to talk about. Okay, going right into number 2. Your holster needs to cover the trigger. If it does not cover the trigger, that's bad. You don't want a holster that doesn't cover the trigger because the trigger is the part that makes the gun go off. So if it doesn't cover the trigger, there's no reason you even should have that holster. And then on top of that, if the holster allows you to wiggle your hand into the holster like this, see? Think this is a good holster? No, it's not, because watch, I can fit my finger right in here and I can pull the trigger easily and the gun goes off while it's in the holster. That's bad. We don't want that for any of our holsters. So any holster that covers the trigger and doesn't allow you to get your finger in there, that's great. Okay, so now moving right into 3, retention is the second thing that your holster needs to do for you. If your holster does not have passive retention, that's bad. You don't want that because it could fall out of your holster while you're just walking around. So yet again, bringing out the Uncle Mike's holster here, if I just put the gun in and I don't snap it, well, what happens to the gun? It falls right out of the holster. There is no retention on this holster. Any of these other holsters like this one here, see? Passive retention. That's great. If I've got this holster here, Blackhawk, you know, some people don't like Blackhawks, but they're pretty decent because even though it wiggles in here, but look, passive retention, it holds it in the holster. So that's great because you don't want a holster that just lets your gun go whenever. You want it to hold it in there and only you pull the gun out of the holster. If you have an Uncle Mike's holster, they usually come with something like this, a snap, or leather holsters also do this where they don't have any passive retention, but they come with a snap. The snap is vitally important because if you snap it in here, see, now the holster holds the gun in. So that's passive retention. The thing is, a lot of people don't know about snaps. You can make a snap, you can set it up so you can draw your firearm from that holster with one hand. That's also something that's important. So moving right into number 4, which is ease of access and comfort. So just like we were talking about, ease of access. Can I get the gun out? If you have some kind of snap and you've set it up the wrong way, and now you have to reach over with your other hand to unsnap it, no, that does not work. You should always be able to pull your gun out of the holster with one hand because your second hand might be busy holding somebody off. So with a snap like this, you want it set up just like this if you're right-handed, and then you just want to flip it around if you're left-handed. When you come over with your hand like this, you just snap it over like that. You just roll it over with your thumb, unsnaps, and now it comes out. And of course, I'm doing this for you guys here, but when it's on your belt, it makes it so much easier because it doesn't move as much. Going into other holsters, so like the Blackhawk here, okay, you just put your finger here and it comes right out. That's a great holster. Holds it in there, and if somebody came up behind you and tried to pull it out, they wouldn't be able to get it unless they had the same grip. And especially if you move the holster so that it's canted forward, they would have to rotate their hand at a really awkward angle to try to get it out of your holster. That's not going to work very well for them. Talking about comfort and ease of access. So generally, your holster needs to allow you to access it quickly, and it needs to be comfortable. If it's not comfortable, you're probably not going to carry it, so that's bad. Also, it needs to allow you access, like I said. So if you're not able to access it quickly, and it's like around over here on the small of the back, and you have to pick this up and get your shirt out of the way and your coat out of the way to get it out, that's not going to work out in a gunfight. You want to be able to get it quickly. So a holster like this that just stays open, but it also has passive retention, that's great because that allows you ease of access, but also it does the other things that we just previously talked about, which is passive retention, and it covers the trigger guard. Okay, now rolling into number 5, which is build quality and long-term use. So the last thing that your holster should do is it should be really well built and it should last you a while. The reason for that is because you don't want to switch up holsters as you go. You want to get used to the same holster because that gives you a better confidence when you're drawing your gun from the same holster over and over and over again. So any kind of holster that's made out of leather, that's a good build quality because leather lasts a very long time, especially when you're wearing it every day. This holster right here probably has been worn for 10 years and it still works perfect. A holster that doesn't have very good build quality might be something like this that's a nylon Uncle Mike's holster, costs you $10, $15 at Walmart, because this thing, if you wear this too long, you can already see it's fraying on the edges where the belt would go. I think I've maybe worn this once. So that's not good, because if I wore this for 10 years, this thing would fall apart on me. And if it falls apart, well, that's not good for your holster, because if you're carrying it and it starts to fall apart over the time span of you having it, eventually that holster is going to fail you and the gun might go off in your holster. That's bad. Hey guys, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Make sure and do your research on your holsters. I hope you learned something from this video. And if you have anything you want me to touch on, please leave me a comment. I try to respond to all the comments that I can.